everyone, it's Heather here. Last week I had a whole lot of fun creating this cute monster card. I used a wobble to make him bobble on the front, and he's created with the Little Monster set that made its debut during the May mini release. So today I'm going to create a coordinating set of tags, birthday tags, using the Little Monster set and doing the same techniques that I used on the card. So first of all, I'm taking the monster and his really cute party accessories, the party hat and the pile of presents, and I'm setting those up in my MISTI and I'm stamping them on sugar cube cardstock. First I'm going to get the stamps where I want, and then I'm going to pick them up with the lid and then use Oreo ink to stamp them. The Oreo ink from Taylored Expressions is Copic marker compatible, and I really like using Copic markers on the sugar cube cardstock. It really colors beautifully. So I stamped that once, and I'm going to do one more impression just to get a nice black impression. Then when I have that done, I'm going to take those out of my MISTI, and then we're going to get coloring. I think one of the best parts of coloring these little monsters is picking out which color you're going to use. I'll show the markers that I'm using as I go along the video, but really there's so many possibilities of colors for these cute little guys. Next, I'm coloring the party accessories with the same colors that I used on the monsters. I'm using a white gel pen to add a few polka dot details. I added the polka dots to the presents and the hat, and on this other monster I also added polka dots to some of the stripes on his tummy. Next I'm going to line up the dies right over each image and tape them down to die cut them in my die cut machine. To do the background of the card, I used the Triangle Toss stencil, and I'm going to do that on the tags as well. I'm going to use Pixie spray to hold everything in place. It's just a temporary adhesive that you can spray on the back of your stencil, and then it will stick everything in place so you don't have to use tape or anything like that. So I'm going to look for the back of my stencil. This stencil, it doesn't really matter, but if you want to know for sure what's the front and the back, there's a Taylored Expressions impression on the front corner of the stencil. So now I've got the Pixie spray sprayed on the back side of the stencil, and just let that dry for a minute. I'm going to put 2 tags down because the stencil will cover 2 tags, and get them how I want, and then I'm going to lay the stencil right over the top with that sticky side down onto the tags, and make sure I have the pattern covering all the tags. And I'm just going to lift this up so you can see everything is all stuck together and you don't need tape. And I'm ready to add my color. I'm going to use toffee ink to add color to the stencil, and with one of these brushes, and I'm just going to use a circular motion. You can take excess ink off if you want. And I'm just going to go right down the center of the tag so the ink will be darker in the middle and lighter on the edges of the tag. Once I have the tags all stenciled, I'm going to use Sugar Cube ink to add a few spatters across the project. I'm just pressing the ink pad right onto an acrylic block so then I can use a water brush to pick up some color, and then I'm going to tap it on my finger to spatter the ink across the tags. Next, I'm going to add the sentiment to the tags, and I'm using the Scream It's Your Birthday sentiment from the Little Monsters set. And I'm going to set it up in my MISTI so that it's going to stamp in the same place on each tag. First, I'm going to tape down that grid paper in the back of the MISTI so that doesn't slide around. So I'm using just a bit of washi tape, or you can use another type of removable tape to do that. Next, I'm going to position my stamp in a place that makes sense, and I'm going to pick that up. I'm using like a tag template, and I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. I'm going to pick the stamp up with the lid of my MISTI, straighten it out just a bit, and then I'm going to just stamp the sentiment one time onto that grid paper so that I can use it as a guide for setting up my tag template. So I die cut a tag from a piece of scrap paper, it doesn't matter what color it is, and I'm just positioning that over the stamped image so I can tape that in place. So I want the stamped image to show in the opening where I want it to stamp on the tag. And once I have that where I want it, then I'm going to tape that template down with some more washi tape. I'm going to take my tags and set them right in the template, ink up the sentiment, and then close the lid of the MISTI to stamp it on the tag exactly where I wanted to do that. I'm doing 2 impressions to get a nice black impression, and then you can go ahead and do all of the tags. Next, I used Stick It to add adhesive to the back of a piece of Sugar Cube cardstock. Then I'm cutting this die from the Tag Reinforcements die collection. Then I just need to peel off the paper backing, and then I can attach that to the top of each tag. And you're going to just find the center and fold that tag reinforcement piece right over the top. I used a 1/4 inch circle punch to punch a hole through the opening in the tag reinforcement die cut. Now that I have my tag bases all put together, I'm ready to add my cute colored monsters to each of the tags. I have 2 of each style of monster, and then I'm going to add the presents to the monster that's holding the flower and just have the presents cover up that flowered section. I'll add the party hats to the monsters that have the party blowers. Now these next little tools are called mini wobble springs, and I think these are what actually just makes the whole project. They have adhesive on each side and a little spring in the middle, and so I'm going to peel the adhesive off the more solid side, and that's the side I'm going to attach to the monster itself, and that comes off in 2 pieces. And then I'm going to just press that once I get the paper peeled off right to the back of the monster. And then the other piece of adhesive is kind of a little skinny strip, and I'm going to peel that off, and then I'll press the monster right onto the tag. And once you get that little monster attached, give him a good press and you can test out that wobble, and it's super cute. I'm using some green twine to tie to the top of each tag. These monster tags really turned out just as cute as can be, and I can't wait to attach them to the next birthday gift that we have to give. Thanks so much everybody for joining me today. I'll see you next time.